Okay, so the bill comes. I'm you. Okay. Do you need any help with that? Okay. What are they going to say? Yeah, you need help with that on the bill that you wanted to take me out to, that I had to get ready for? I don't think so. In a patriarchy created by men where men are paid more than women, even though women typically do a better job. In a world where all wars have been started by men.
Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's episode, guys, we are going to be first responding to this woman right here who is responding to a comment that was left on one of her videos. So as you can see, a man here says, "Sounds like you don't pick the right men. Going for looks and money, you're as much at fault as the men." So basically, we have a girl here who is 30 plus years of age, can't seem to find a man, and instead of looking at herself and maybe the men that she chooses to date, would rather blame men as a whole. And she goes on in this video to say that she's dated a whole bunch of different kinds of men, and it just seems to be men in general. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump right in and take a listen to how she responds to this man here.
Sounds like it's my fault.
Yep.
It's so interesting that you that you can guess what you think, project what my preference might be.
What, are you saying that you don't have a preference for dudes who look good and make money? Guys, this is why a lot of men don't go to women for dating advice, by the way, is because they'll just say crap like this, like, "Oh, I don't care about how a man looks, or I don't care about how much a man earns or his status or anything like that. I just like him because of his personality." Right? That's so astounding, guys, when you sit and think for a minute just how many women will complain about their boyfriends or ex-boyfriends being a-holes. It's like you knew that the guy was a quote-unquote terrible guy. You knew he was an a-hole or a player, but you went for him anyway because of his looks or how much money he earned or his status or whatever the case may be.
I think you'd be hard-pressed, honestly, to find any similarities between my past partners. Like size, shape, education level, jobs, skin tones.
Okay, so if you have dated all of these different kinds of men from varied backgrounds, okay, dudes with different ethnicities, different jobs, different heights, whatever the case may be, you've dated all of these different kinds of dudes, okay, and you still can't find a man to settle down with, right? You have been unable to get married, unable to maybe have children. I don't know this woman's particular circumstance. Maybe she has kids to one particular guy. I don't know. But if you are of this age as a woman and you do not have a guy that you're married to, or you do not have kids, and you want these things, it is not the men's fault. You can't sit here and say, "Well, I've dated all of these different kinds of guys, and, you know, it's just unlucky. It must be the men." You are the common denominator of the people that you choose to date. And what I mean by that is, if you choose a whole bunch of guys and you can't get a relationship, it's not the men's fault. Chances are you're overlooking a lot of red flags because, as the commenter says, he either looks good, he has money, or something else that you're interested in.
I think that I've really run the gamut as far as like trying to find a partner that is a good fit, and it really doesn't matter physically kind of what's going on. I'm really like into our energetic connection.
Yeah, guys, look, I've heard this before, okay? When girls say crap like this, when they say, "Oh, I'm looking for an energetic connection," or "She's just looking for some sort of connection," just feel free to ignore that sentence. What a lot of girls say when they mean this, by the way, is when they get into their 30s and they're looking for a connection, basically they're looking for a dude who's going to invest and a guy who's going to stick around, okay? This is when girls start to look for dudes who are going to provide for them. A lot of the times they have a lot of debt, or they're looking to have children or get married, and now they need the stability from a guy. The stability didn't matter when she was in her early 20s, right? This is why women go through their 304 phase, which, to be honest with you guys, I don't think is really a phase. Like, they go out there, they want to get with the attractive dudes, then they get to 30 and they realize, like, "Oh crap, I need a real connection," right? There's that word, connection. I need a connection with a guy But oftentimes they get with the guy, they get that quote-unquote connection, right? The resources, the investment from the guy, and then they just go back to the bad boys anyway when they're bored, or they realize that they can divorce the guy and take his possessions and his children. Like, I don't really believe that the 304 phase is a phase, guys. It really just gets interrupted by the fact that a lot of them have to look for stability, or else their life is going to end up in complete shambles. Even though it just... People whose lives, by the way, are in shambles, guys, are going to be in shambles no matter what you do. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you go out there and you give an addict money, right? It's like, yes, they have money, they might be able to fix it up a little bit, but their life goes back to crap. It's kind of like the same thing with single mothers and girls who can't get their life together. Their life is going to end up miserable anyway, even if they're able to take a whole bunch of crap from a dude. You know, depending on how rich the dude is, obviously, but these people honestly ruin their lives ahead of time anyway. Let's keep going.
So, yeah, I think you're wrong. But, you know, thanks for playing. Thanks for trying. Like another man trying to tell me that I am doing a bad job because I keep meeting these men who don't care about my pleasure.
Yeah, guys, you know, it's just... She just keeps attracting those guys who don't seem to care about her. And by the way, this guy isn't necessarily saying you're doing a bad job. He just says that you have some accountability to take here, right? He's saying that you're just as much at fault as the men are for being unable to secure your own commitment and long-term relationship, okay? It's not necessarily that he's saying that you're doing a bad job. He's just suggesting that you take some accountability, okay? He's telling you to take some accountability, right? But... you know, accountability is it's a very hard pill to swallow for a lot of these girls who just, like, guys, they live in such fantasy land that even at the age of, like, 35, 40, whatever the case may be, it's like they still think that they have time. Okay, I was looking through, for a couple of TikToks to cover on an episode, guys, and I came across a TikTok of like a Fresh and Fit clip, and they had a woman on there who was saying that she was, I don't know, 30, like 47 or something like that, and she was still out here in her 304 phase casually dating dudes, and she even denied the fact that it was called a 304 phase. It's just, they get in so much delusion, guys, for such a long period of time, and anytime you try and tell them to take any form of accountability, it just goes over their heads. Now, obviously, guys, not all girls are like this. A lot of girls can understand that they've chosen a whole bunch of bad boys and, you know, they're just addicted to it, but there are a lot of girls who just cannot even understand or fathom for a second that they might be part of the problem. But guys, speaking of problems, let's jump into this next clip here from a woman who's going to give us some dating advice. Or when I say us, she's going to give dating advice to other women, so you already know it's going to be good. Let's take a listen.
On your date, because I know dating can be awkward, okay? But I learned this on TikTok and I need to teach it to everyone. Okay, so the bell...
Yeah, guys, you know, because when you learn dating advice on TikTok, you just have to share it with everybody. That seems like the most intelligent thing to do.
Comes. I'm you. Okay. Do you need any help with that? Okay. That... What are...
If you didn't catch what she just said right there, I'm going to play it back. Apologies, gentlemen, right? But basically, she's saying when the check comes, you should say to the dude, oh, do you need help with that? Let's wind that back.
And I need to teach it to everyone. Okay, so the bell comes. I'm you. Okay. Do you need any help with that? Okay, that... What are they gonna say? Yeah, you need help with that on the bill that you wanted to take me out to that I had to get ready for? I don't think so!
I mean, the man also had to get ready. Chances are the man had to choose the venue. Chances are the man had to drive both you and him to the venue. Like, this is amazing, guys, where girls seem to have this idea, this level of entitlement these days. Not all girls, right? But certainly these ones who get dating advice from TikTok. They have this idea that a man's time is somehow less valuable than hers simply because he's a man. Like, yes, if you're going on a date with a man, I know, shock horror, you have to get ready. I know that's crazy. I know that maybe that suggests for a moment that you're an adult, but yes, you actually have to get ready for the date, but guess what? So does he. And just because he doesn't have to put makeup on doesn't mean that he's not getting ready for the date. And chances are, by the way, he's planning for the date. This, guys, here's the thing, right? I've had a couple videos about me saying that, oh, you know, Taylor doesn't agree with men paying on the date. Okay, so first of all, I believe dating is pretty much dead. But second of all, if a man is going to pay on a date, I have nothing against that as long as he chooses to pay for the date and he wants to pay for the date. None of this manipulation crap or men are supposed to pay for the date, therefore he has to. If a man's going to do something, it should be because he decided to do it and not because of some TikTok womanist advice telling men that they have to pay for the date. It's disgusting.
A patriarchy created by men where men are paid more than women, even though women typically do a better job. In a world where all wars have been started by men. In a society where 90% of rapes are by men. Don't even
In a society where you get your lip fillers from men, can we throw that one in there
get
too?
me started on the orgasm gap. No, babe, when your gender figures it out, maybe we'll talk about it.
Guys, whenever a girl brings up the patriarchy or the wage gap, you have my permission to just tune out and stop listening, okay? The wage gap, I say this like every second video, the wage gap literally does not exist. Okay, it has been illegal for a very long period of time to pay people a different amount on the basis of gender. I think, don't quote me on this, but like something like very early years for America. I can't quite remember the time, but it's been a long time, okay, since you've been able to pay people a different amount. Like, you have to pay, if someone's doing the same job, you have to pay both the man and the woman the same amount for the same job. It's literally illegal. And these girls, they get so confused when you ask them simple questions like, you know, if a man gets paid more, why do companies not just hire all women? Like, they just can't seem to grasp like simple mathematics. It's just astounding to me, guys. But anytime a girl brings up the patriarchy, or she starts talking about how women do better jobs at things and like men don't do anything, even though her lip fillers are probably done by a man, you have my permission just to stop listening to the video in its entirety. But guys, we have one more clip to jump into, then we're going to jump into today's Reddit story. So without further ado, let's jump into the next clip. Now, this next clip is an interesting one, guys. We're doing a bit of a rewind here. So she's going to tell us what FDS has taught her. Now, if you don't know what FDS is, guys, FDS is female dating strategy on Reddit. And I swear to you guys, I'm pretty sure it was us who got them taken down, because I would cover these women on this subreddit literally like every second episode back in the day, but they've stopped doing it there, and now they have like a Patreon only podcast or something like that. Maybe I should look into that and sneak in so we can have some more content. But FDS was basically a subreddit where women taught each other very terrible and counterproductive strategies when dating, basically how to manipulate men, how to be complete a-holes to men. Basically, they're not a fan of men. But this woman has learned something. She has learned something, excuse me, from the female dating strategy. So let's take a listen to what she has learned. I'm sure it's going to be really, really good.
Okay, y'all, don't mind these minor cuts on my face. But like, I think I'm gonna call this FDS taught me. FDS stands for the female dating strategy. Y'all don't know? Check out my last video. But like, can we talk about coffee or walk dates? Like, no, we is not accepting that in 2022.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that you are not accepting walking and coffee dates from a man? Hey, that's fine with me. I always hear these videos, guys, of like girls saying, here's what I don't accept on a date. But what you've got to understand is they will accept anything from a man that they're highly attracted to. Like, if a guy that they're highly attracted to says he's free for 5 minutes on a Wednesday at like, you know, 11:45 p.m. at night, she's going to find her way there if she's really into the dude. Okay, this idea that women are not having these coffee and walk dates because men need to step it up and men need to increase the standard. For men that they're attracted to, they'll go on a coffee date with him. They'll go on a walk date with him. They'll go on a walk date with the dude in the freezing rain on a Tuesday night. Like, really, it does not matter.
Okay, tell me you're broke without telling me you're broke. Tell me you're cheap without telling me you're cheap.
I mean, many dudes don't want to go on, you know, dinner dates and anything more serious than a coffee date or a walk date, not because they don't have money, not because they're cheap, but because a lot of men have been used by women for these things. Like, a lot of dudes have been used. Like, if you're a dude and you've been dating, right, and you're not like, you know, a very young dude, right, a lot of guys have been straight up used for like these fancy dinner dates before, and they're not having it again. All right, because guys have come to realize that if you're interested in him, it doesn't matter if it's a coffee date. It doesn't matter if if it's a walk, because you're there for him, not what you can get out of the situation. That's kind of like me. Like, can you guys imagine, right? These girls, how they would lose their mind if I said, you know what, guys, and they do. They of course do, right? If I say things like, hey, you should only date a woman for bedroom fun. Right, you should only date a girl if she does. It's like they lose their minds over all this, guys, because there is no compromise anymore. There's no getting with someone because you like who they are as a person. It's always, and these girls will cry about it, right? Men jumping straight to the bedroom, but these girls are literally jumping straight to a guy's finances. So, like, what on earth is the problem? If you're going to use men as wallets and then complain when men objectify you, I don't know what to tell you. Let's keep going.
So if I put some effort in it, let's go to dinner. Let me see your table manners.
No.
How do you treat the staff?
Very well, but still no.
Okay. Coffee date. I got my coffee machine. I'm good. Walk. I ain't a motherfucking dog, okay? Maybe you've been in a relationship already, but I don't know. Take me out to dinner.
No, thank you. Guys, this is the thing, okay? Like, a lot of people, a lot of women in particular, they'll complain about men not being chivalrous anymore, men only wanting to take them on coffee dates, not taking women seriously, but men actually really have no incentive to take these girls seriously. Like, for dudes who truly understand how dating works behind the scenes, guys, it's like taking a woman out on a dinner date, especially for a first date, or you're just trying to show her that you're interested in, it's really quite embarrassing, especially when you understand how a lot of these modern women choose to date. Like, you expect me to take you out on a dinner date so you can essentially interview me and talk about my behaviors towards the staff, and you think I'm broke if I don't take you, but you casually date men behind the scenes who have to do none of this. Like, as if a man who is self-respecting would do any of these things. But guys, let's jump into this very brief Reddit story here. This is a much shorter one. It was posted 18 hours ago by a woman who has a question for all men, okay? And she's 33 years of age, and you already know, guys, when a girl who's 33 years of age is on a subreddit, dating advice, asking all dudes a particular question, you know it's going to be a good one. So let's jump in and see what she has to ask us. She says, so basically, I'm a 33-year-old female. Well, excuse me. I find it funny, right, how you have all these girls, sorry to interrupt, guys, you have all these girls who will say, like, oh, don't use the word female because it dehumanizes us, and then you have women coming along using the word female. I just find it incredibly funny, right, because there's people who are just such snowflakes. So basically, she's a 33-year-old female, and she gets a constant stream of men that are basically wanting to have bedroom fun with her, but no one of them even want to get to know me as a friend or even as a person. It drives me absolutely crazy, and I'm getting bored and fed up with it. I'm not actively looking for a relationship, but just wondered why this seems to be such a big area of my life, or what the hell is wrong with me for this kind of stuff to be constant. P.S. I don't bother getting with any of them. So the fact that she has to say P.S. here, she doesn't get with any of them, I'm going to say that she probably does. But this woman is asking the question, okay, why are dudes only interested in her in a casual setting? Now, I'll say this right off the bat, okay? Dudes who women select, the dudes at the top of the dating pile, shall we say, the top 10% of men, the top fraction of a percent of men, a lot of these guys are not going to be interested in a relationship. The men who are invisible to you, they would probably have a relationship with you. They'd be interested to see where things go, take you out on dates, do all of these things, okay? But the dudes at the top are typically not going to want to have a relationship with you. So number one, it could just be the type of men that you're choosing to mess with, only wanting to have bedroom fun with you. That's probably the most likely possibility. But the other possibility here is that you present yourself in such a way that you are just bedroom fun. Okay, if you're a girl and you've got like this Instagram and you're posting like all these questionable photos to it, or you're just you're just someone who you know, is clearly about the 304 life. Don't be surprised when men treat you that way. It's kind of like me as a dude, right? If I was going out here dating women and I'm like, man, why do women only use me for my money? Like, can't women ever see me for anything else? And I'm out here flashing Lamborghinis on my Instagram and nothing else of myself. It's kind of the same thing, right? It's kind of like a dude going out here flashing a Lamborghini, then trying to date women on seeking arrangements, and then asking why women are only interested in him for his money. This is what a lot of these girls do, guys. They don't seem to understand that if they're going to go out here, they're going to select the top percentage of men, and then they're going to present themselves in an unladylike manner. They're not going to find dudes who are interested in having a relationship with them. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, remember to leave some of your thoughts and your comments to some of the things that we have covered here today. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators, Hadan from Peace of Mind and Detective Warg. They've been pumping out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. And without further ado, guys, we're going to be leaving the episode there, so make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.